What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back for another video. I really appreciate it. In this video, I'm going to show you how to go about cleaning your parallel pins, which is very simple, nothing too difficult to do, and it's something that I will have to admit that I don't do as often or hardly as much as I should. Which is probably because nowadays I tend to use my iPad Pro a lot more. But I'm slowly realizing that I need to learn how to do both and not just rely on my iPad, because being able to do both is so good. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into it, and I'll show you everything that comes in a Pilot parallel pin packaging. Okay, so whenever you receive your Pilot parallel pin that you ordered, I had these two pieces, well, I guess you guys call it packaging materials or leftover packaging from when I ordered mine. And you see one I haven't used at all, and I'm going to show you how to use these as well. So whenever you order your parallel pins, it's going to have the description, like the nip width that you got, and just tell you what it contains. Let me make sure that you could actually see that. Whoops, hold on. Yeah, it'll just tell you what it contains. I mean, you could see what it contains, honestly. I never read any of this stuff, but what is good for beginners is to read through this so you have an idea, and you won't be asking yourself, okay, I have this parallel pin, what is it and how can I use it? Because watching videos and etc. is good, but to me, I'm the type of person I prefer doing after I read. And this tells you the width, strokes, and how the pen works, and then about the gradients. I love doing the gradients with the Pilot parallel pen. They're very simple. I still remember when I first got my parallel pen, my very first one that I still have. I have it here. Yes, it's one of the, and actually I'm missing one of my parallel pens that I need to clean. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Yeah, just tells you some techniques, shows you the different angles, and then it gives you some alphabets to do with some hands. These are not called fonts, not in calligraphy. Then it gives you a few sample examples of what you could do. And then I believe this is in, and then they have the other side that's in different languages. And then just talking about what you're getting, and that's pretty much it for that. So here are parallel pins. The blue ones are the 6mm, and then the green one, which is 3.8mm. And I believe there are 2 or 3, I think it's 2 others that are very small, that are smaller than 3.8mm. For me personally, I'm not into going smaller. And anyhow, continuing on. So what comes in the kit whenever you receive it, first your pen will arrive in the packaging like this, and you're gonna have 2 cartridges going over this. It's gonna be 1 black and I believe 1 red. Alright, as you see here, I have all my pens laid out, and then I just have 1 cup of water filled up to probably about there. And then I have just 1 empty cup, because this cup I'm going to be cleaning out the pen. And I'm just gonna do one by one, clean it, take it apart, and look how dirty this pen is. I think this would probably be better so you could actually see it. You can see how dirty this pen is. I got to the habit of, I like dipping my parallel pens in different colored ink because I just love the gradient effect, and to me it's another way of using like an automatic pen without actually using one. So then you could just see the cartridge is empty. I have a video showing how to refill Pilot parallel pens for cheap. I will put the link, I'll put a card on the screen, and I'll put the link in the description if I forget to do the card. So, cool thing about parallel pens, this right here is what the ink is fed through. You could pull this piece out, and this right here is just my little ink rag. Not just an old, I think it's like an old pillowcase. And this piece right here, it's like a little plunger. You would stick it in here because you would have this filled with water, and then just push it through. And you don't have to put soap or anything because I'm not using soap for this. Only time I really use soap for my pens is whenever I use like a light dish detergent whenever I'm using my automatic pens. And let me readjust the camera so you can see this part. I have it filled with water. And what I'm going to do is just gonna press. See all that dirty ink that has been left there for who knows how long. Also, you could soak your pens overnight too, like take it apart and just leave it soaking. And we're just going to speed up this part of the video, and there's also one more technique I'm going to show you. Okay, and now for the final part. Let definitely not spill that water. We want it to stay in the cup. Also, another thing, make sure not to put the ink that you have cleaned out from your pens. Only put it in like a metal sink, because don't want to take a risk with a white sink, because you never know, it may stain it. I always just avoid that. Or if you're not allowed to put it in your kitchen sink, just put it down the toilet. So this piece right here is good to get out paper fibers that get stuck between these two metal pieces, because depending on what weight of paper, you will get metal pieces that'll collect in the nib. And the way to do it, and this thing right here is like a very thin plastic, almost, you could say, I don't even know how to describe it. Just like a very thin plastic. You would just slide it in between the two pieces, just like that, and you would just clean it. I'm really thankful that I still have one, because the other one that I did have, I think I was watching a video and they had mentioned about putting it in the cap, and I did that, and I believe I ended up losing one. So I don't recommend doing that. And then after you clean out the paper fibers from the nib, you're good to go. So I'm going to do that for the rest of them. And as you had saw, when I was cleaning this one out, I was not able to pull out the pieces, pull out the metal tip, because this one is a modified parallel pen. It's a scroll one. And the 6mm, oh, wow, hold on. Can I get up in there? We are, okay, let me get up in there like swimwear. You know, that was one of my favorite joke sayings. I think I heard that from a song. Got one more pen to do. And maintenance is good because it makes your pens last longer. And you see all this ink pooling here. I need to probably knock this tip out. Try to get some. It has been so long since I've cleaned my parallel pens. Not even, this makes me want to actually fill up the ink cartridges too. I kind of enjoy just dipping them in the bottles of ink. It's like one of my habits I've picked up. Alright, so after you have done those two things, just take your pens and there may or may not be some water that comes out. I like to just do that and get them dry. So that still has some ink left in it that's coming through from the water. That's just how these pens work. They are gravity based. Let's see this one. Anything comes out? Yeah, this one was bone dry. It's just water. That's nice and clean. All right, let's do the last one. Let's see what comes out. Alright, and I hope you enjoyed the video. That is how to go about cleaning your Pilot parallel pens. and how to make them last longer. But one more thing, if you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. Make sure to let me know what your thoughts are below. And also don't forget to check out all the information in the description box below. And if you want me to, I could talk to you about how I broke this parallel pen. Catch you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.